Hey guys, we are back in the kitchen today and we are making Greek chicken or turkey meatballs. In today's case, we're making turkey. I'm using ground turkey breast and with lemon orzo. So orzo is a pasta. It's shaped almost like a grain of rice, a little bit bigger. And we are using about a cup. So the first thing I've done is I've put a pot on my stove of chicken broth. So this is gonna be hearty. We're gonna cook our orzo pasta in chicken broth, and it doesn't take long to cook them. You want them a little bit al dente. That means a little bit firm in the middle, so they're not soggy. So I used about 2 cups of chicken broth, and then I added a little bit of water to fill the rest of the pot up, and I'm gonna cook my 1 cup of orzo in that water as soon as it boils. And I'm gonna cook it maybe about 10 minutes. Okay, so while that's going, we are going to open our ground turkey. I'm gonna open that up. Put the turkey in. We're gonna use a whole pound of ground turkey. And again, you can use chicken if you don't wanna use the turkey, or depending on what you have at home. So, next we're gonna add to the ground turkey, because we're gonna make our meatballs with this. We are going to add 1 large egg. Crack it. Usually I crack it into a bowl. I know my eggs are good eggs and they're fresh. So I'm just gonna crack it right into that. Okay. So now I'm gonna add some panko or breadcrumbs. I like the panko, and I'm really addicted to these Kinders, the different flavors, because that's gonna help flavor my meatballs. And I'm using the Parmesan cheese and garlic. So it calls for about a half a cup, and I'm not even gonna measure. There we go. And you want to have some good olive oil in your skillet, nonstick skillet. And I've got that over there on the stove as well while my water is coming to a boil. So we're gonna add some parsley. Not much, because those breadcrumbs are flavored already for you. And for the Greek here, we're going to add some crumbled feta cheese to the meatballs. If I can get it to shake out, I've got some big pieces in there. I'm gonna take this nice shaker top off and hold these big pieces back so the smaller ones can go in. Okay. And that's gonna be delicious in those meatballs. All right, a little salt. Again, I'm gonna go light on the salt because my breadcrumbs are seasoned. A little pepper. And I've got 2 cloves of fresh garlic that I've rough chopped. And I'm gonna stop for a minute because I'm gonna pour my orzo in my boiling chicken broth. Okay, the last thing I put in the meatballs was the zest from a lemon. I didn't use the whole zest. I just went around a good bit of it, and I used my rasp and got a little bit of lemon in the bowl, and you can smell it as you're making these meatballs. So I've formed all of the meatballs, and I've got olive oil heating in my pan on the stove. And so as you can see out of that pound, they're not exactly the same. You can use a scoop if you want to. I've got 4, 8, 14 good size meatballs from that pound of meat. So I'm gonna wash my hands. I'm gonna add these to the pan. I'm gonna cook these where they're browned and cooked all the way through. I had to add a little bit more breadcrumbs because the meat was a little sticky and I wanted it to hold together. So you just keep adding breadcrumbs until you feel that consistency where you can pack that meatball. And you don't want to over knead the meat and the panko, because over kneading makes it tough and dry. So you want to try to not mash it, as best you can. So let me wash my hands. I'm going to cook these meatballs. My pasta is almost done, and I'm going to drain that broth off, but I'm going to save the broth as I drain it off. Okay, my meatballs are smelling great. I've got a lid over them. Once they got kind of browned, I've got a lid over them because I made them a little bit big to go fast. So I've got a lid to hold in some of that heat and moisture so they won't be dry. So we're gonna prepare in a bowl the flavors for our sauce. So we're gonna go with 2 tablespoons of good butter. Put that in there. And we're gonna go and take the juice of a lemon. And these I found this week at the store, seedless lemon, so I don't have to worry about straining it. Goes juice of a lemon. Go, and I've got some tomatoes that I chopped up. I just had a few, like about 10 little cherry tomatoes. Chop those up. I'm going to dump those in. And after I pour that warm pasta on, I'm going to put a little bit of this mascarpone cheese, which is going to make my pasta sauce a little creamy. And I'm going to put a few capers in. Just have a lemony flavor. A little bit of vinegar, pickling, just a little bit. That was maybe 20 capers or so. So I've got that on there, put a little parsley in there, and I'm gonna drain my pasta and pour that hot pasta right over this lemon juice, butter, tomatoes, and as I stir, I'm gonna add just maybe a big heaping tablespoon of that mascarpone in there to that warm pasta. So I drained the orzo. As you can see, I'm gonna stir it. It's got the lemon juice, fresh tomatoes, a few capers, and the butter. And that warm pasta is gonna help melt that butter. As a matter of fact, I don't even see it in a clump in here. It looks like it's melted it. So it looks nice, pretty, and fresh. I'm gonna add a little tablespoon of the mascarpone, maybe 2. I just love it. Delicious. Okay, I'm gonna shove that down in under that pasta so it melts. And you could add a little bit of the feta if you like. I'm also going to take a little bit of my drained broth and pour it over it, just a little. That might have been 2 tablespoons. I'm going to do some fresh ground pepper. I already did parsley, a little bit of salt, and stir that up. And that mascarpone is melting creamy. It's going to add cream to my pasta. My meatballs are just about ready. There we go. Can you see what that looks like? A tiny, delicate pasta there, that orzo. It's probably my husband's favorite pasta. Okay, so here we are. The last of that mascarpone is nice and melted. I'm gonna put me some orzo in my nice wide bowl, making sure I get a little caper. And I've got my meatballs sizzling over here. Top it with 2 of them. And a little bit of this finely grated Parmesan cheese. Sprinkle that on there. Now let's have a taste of this. And first I'm going to taste the pasta. Such a soft, delicate pasta that orzo is. And you can taste the lemon in the sauce, and I'm sure we can taste the lemon in our meatballs. And our meatballs are nice and fully cooked. Just delicious with the lemon and the feta in there. What a wonderful hearty pasta for a winter day. Okay, give this Greek orzo pasta a try. It's delicious.